Big 33 here with another RPG Maker tutorial, RPG Maker 2 for PlayStation 2. This tutorial is going to be flags and variables. I'll go over a little bit what flags are. Flags are like switches. They're either on or off. And variables are like jelly beans in a jar. They equal a certain amount of, a certain number. The current number is what's figured in. And then you can either add or take away that number. Or change it to a random number. Pretty useful stuff. So the first thing to do is to go to File, New, in Beginner Mode. This will give you all of the data from the game to alter. And then go to Menu, File, Preferences, and choose User, Level, and Hard. This will let you edit all of that data by updating and exiting. So now that we've loaded a new game, time to create an event. So you want to go to Scripts and Events. This is the interactable form of a script. So this is the physical object representing a script. In this case. So we'll call this NPC, non-player character. And then give it a model, which is going to be adult male. And the direction is going to be south. You'll see why. And I'm going to change the start condition to talk. In previous videos I said I was going to go over this. Pretty much what talk is when you choose the talk option and you are touching the character. So we don't have a script, so we don't have anything to apply. And that's it for that. So now go ahead and create one flag and one variable. In the game settings, we're going to go to Custom, in Game Settings, and go to Flag, and we're going to name a flag, which is important because naming your flags, it's good for organization. So we're going to call this Talk, and update it, and we'll only need one flag. I actually got to thinking we can use two variables. I thought I was only going to use one, but I think there's room for two. So we're going to create the first variable, talk times talk topics 2 pics. So messed up controller. And lastly, we're going to create one called talk to many. I have a keyboard controller, so it's easier to input things. So what these two are going to do is to talk topics, whatever number it is, it's going to pick a topic that the character talks about. And then talk to many is going to calculate how many times you've talked to the NPC. So, going to update that. Update and exit. And then now we're going to create a script which is going to incorporate those flags and variables. And the script is basically the code for the event. the thing or the tangible object. So we're going to call the script NPC for organization's sake, being repetitive. And the first thing we need to create is a script branch condition. And what that is a if-then case basis. If the conditions in the branch are met, everything within will occur. So, going to create a variable if the flag is off, and that flag is going to be if talk is off. So it's a little confusing the way I named that, but basically, if you're not done talking to the character, and that's going to occur in all of the conditions except the last one. So we're going to have a script branch condition, which is another if-then case basis, and this is going to be for the variable, and that variable will be talk topics. So if you have not finished talking with the character and talk topics is equal to 1, then they will say something. So to copy all of this, copy, and we're going to paste this twice and change the talk topics variable each time so it equals a different number. So now that variable is going to be one of 3 numbers, 1, 2, or 3. First off though, there needs to be something that can make those equal to 1, 2, or 3. And while they have not finished talking to the character. So to do that, you would go to data, variable, and make talk topics a random number between 1 and 3. So I won't make the input complex, but for each of these conditions, something needs to go in between them. So gonna make some text and a message. Hi. And another message. And these need to be all different. In this case, or it's just smart to make them different if you're using this. So the screen display, text, message, hiya, update, and lastly, a screen display and one more text, aloha. So, which can be hi or goodbye. So, now, I want to alter one more thing. Below the message, go to data, and we'll go back to those jelly beans, and we're going to make talk to mini equal to itself. Plus 1. So it's going to increase by 1 every time the event is talked to. So they're going to reach a threshold. Once that variable reaches a certain number, something else is going to happen. So we're going to copy this talk flag off and paste it at the bottom. It doesn't need to occur until last. And actually I want it to occur first. So copy and then delete and paste it at the top. And have one more condition within there. More of those jelly beans. Go from switch to jelly bean. I don't know if that's a good idea, but it must be. Everybody's doing it. So if talk to mini is equal to or greater than 5. So if it's equal to or greater than this symbol, 5, it will turn this talk off to on. So that switch's state has changed. It is now on. So this is going to change that state. And now to make this quick and easy, copy this talk off, paste it here, and change the condition to if it is on. The if then case basis is if you have talked to the character 5 times, they're no longer happy with you. So, screen display, text, message, go away. Go away. Sounds like a cleaner, some kind of household cleaning product. Go away. Alright, so there's that. And then, if it's equal to 5 and it turns it on, just to make this make sense, text, message, I'm getting tired of this. So that's basically what's going to happen with the script. So update and exit, and I'll show you how this all works. So update and exit, the script is done. Now to go to graphics, create a dungeon for all of this to occur in, or an area, call it test. And then edit the dungeon, which will let you build the design of the dungeon. And I'm going to make this very simple. No reason to be complicated. Just trying to spend as little time as possible. So this lets you create the walls, floor, the shapes of the blocks, all of that. But I'm going to keep it simple, like I said. Just a simple 5 by 5 block. And it's going to have some walls. So now I'm done with that. Select to exit, circle, and update and exit. So now we have a dungeon. Next we need an event placement, which is the placement for the events in that dungeon that you have created, or that map. I'm also going to name this test, and update and exit, and make the dungeon database test. So the dungeon for the events will be set to test. So that's the dungeon you'll be editing when you place the events. And events don't necessarily exist until they're put into a world organization, which I'll explain next. So you press select to exit, circle, and X to update and exit, and then to go to graphics, and this green tab here, world organization. And this is the physical copy of the world, the placement for all of the events and objects you want. So we're going to call this test. It doesn't have to be fancy for this. And then just to create the dungeon, for that to exist in the physical copy, we now have a physical copy of the dungeon. And once we plug in the events as well, we have a physical copy of the events. So the world organization is a physical copy. And that's all we needed for that. Now to go to our script, we have to go back to our event and actually plug in this script, which I'm going to edit because I forgot a part. It's pretty important for talk scripts. So update and exit. So there's that. Now the event has code that it's going to activate when the event is triggered, and that's what the apply is. So going to go back to scripts and go to NPC and enter one line of code in each of these conditions or if-then case bases, and this is only going to be for script in. So script for script in, and it will end the conversation. It will exit the script basically. Without this, it'll just go through and cycle through until it's completed. So having this for script in at the end of each of these scripts will be more like a conversation instead of continuous text, which is what you would get if you didn't put that in there. And lastly, to go to game, general settings, and what I want to do is remove these members because I don't need them. And finally, to go to the location, set it to test, choose the blue icon, choose a location by pressing L1, R1 in the D-pad, and pressing X twice. Select to exit, circle, until a menu comes up, and update and exit. Now starting the game should put us there. So I'm going to go to test play and start. So now the area I chose in basic general settings is my start area. The game will start there. So to have it start in my test area, I can test my game until it's complete. So I'll talk to this character. They say hiya. I'll talk again. And again. See, they said the same thing twice. So the variable being random means they could say any one of those three things because it picks a number 1 through 3. And the results are different for each number. That's how a variable works. So he said the same thing 3 times, 4 times. And now, this is where the flag comes into play. We have reached that threshold for the variable. Now, he is telling us to go away. Because that flag is on, he will always say go away. So that's that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time.